The Christmas party hall glowed with warm yellow lights. A giant parrot hung from the ceiling, and soft carols played in the background, songs about love, family, and hope. Employees laughed, exchanged gifts, and took selfies beside a tall Christmas tree decorated with red and gold ornaments. She stood quietly near the buffet table, wearing a simple dress she had sewn herself. Her hands trembled slightly as she held a small paper plate. This was her husband's company party, yet she felt like a stranger, unseen, unimportant. "Everyone, may I have your attention?" her husband suddenly announced, tapping his glass with a spoon. His voice carried confidence, the kind admired by his coworkers. People turned, smiling, expecting a joke or a surprise. He smiled too, but it was cold. "This year has been difficult," he said, glancing at her. "Some people hold you back instead of supporting you." A few nervous laughs echoed. Then he reached into his coat and pulled out a brown envelope. Her heart stopped. She knew before he said a word. "These are divorce papers," he declared. "I've had enough of pretending." The room went silent. Someone gasped. Phones slowly lifted. She felt every eye on her, judging, pitying, enjoying the moment. "Sign it," he said, pushing the papers into her hands. "Right now, so we can all move on." Her throat tightened. Christmas lights blurred through her tears. She thought of the nights she waited for him, the meals she cooked after long days, the times she chose him over herself. She remembered praying quietly, believing love required sacrifice. Her fingers shook as she held the pen. No shouting, no begging, just tears falling onto the paper. She signed. The sound of the pen scratching her name felt louder than the music. Some clapped awkwardly, others whispered, someone laughed. She removed the wedding ring slowly, simple on the outside, but crafted from a rare diamond known only to elite collectors. She placed it gently on the table, bowed her head, and walked away. Outside, cold December air hit her face. Fireworks exploded in the distance, celebrating Christmas joy that did not belong to her. As she stepped onto the empty street, a black luxury car waited across the road. Its engine purred softly. The driver stepped out, opened the door, and bowed respectfully. "Madam," he said, "it's time to go home." She wiped her tears, lifted her head, and for the first time that night, her eyes no longer looked broken. The car moved silently through the Christmas-lit streets of the city. Inside, everything smelled of leather and calm, so different from the noise and humiliation she had just escaped. She stared out the window as perils and blinking lights passed by, reminders of a season meant for forgiveness and family. "Madam," the driver said gently, breaking the silence. "Should I inform the board you've returned?" She closed her eyes. Memories flooded in. Years ago, she had walked away from a life of power, private planes, boardrooms, bodyguards, choosing instead a small apartment and a simple marriage. She wanted to be loved not for her name, but for who she was. She hid her identity, used a different surname, and lived like an ordinary Filipino wife. She woke early to cook. She endured insults from in-laws. She smiled through being called walang ambag, a burden. When her husband's business struggled, she secretly saved it, anonymous investments, quiet connections, unseen sacrifices. Every success he claimed was built on her silence. The car stopped at the top of a hill overlooking the city. A grand gate slowly opened. Guards stood straight. Staff lined up. No laughter, no whispers, only respect. As she stepped out, every person bowed. "Welcome back, Madam Chairwoman," they said in unison. Her phone vibrated. 99 missed calls, messages from her ex-husband, from coworkers who laughed, from people who suddenly remembered her kindness. She ignored them all. Inside the mansion, walls displayed global awards, framed magazine covers, and photos of her late father, the man who built the empire and taught her that true power does not shout. She touched one frame softly. "They thought I was nothing," she whispered. Her assistant approached carefully. "The board meeting is scheduled for tomorrow morning. Your ex-husband's company is on the agenda." She paused. Outside, fireworks exploded again, painting the sky red and gold. "Good," she said calmly. "Let's begin the new year properly." She walked toward the light, not as a broken wife, but as a woman who had finally stopped shrinking herself for others. Cliffhanger ending. Across the city, her ex-husband celebrated his freedom, unaware that his company's biggest investor had just come home. Morning sunlight poured into the glass tower that bore her family name, though few remembered it belonged to her. Inside the executive boardroom, the most powerful figures in Asia sat in silence. Screens displayed stock charts, global assets, and one name at the top of everything. Chairwoman. Her name. She entered calmly, dressed in an elegant white suit. No cameras. No applause. Only respect. "Good morning," she said. Everyone stood. For years, she had ruled from the shadows, allowing others to believe the empire belonged to distant relatives. She wanted a normal life. A simple marriage. A love untouched by money. She gave up everything, except control. A director cleared his throat. "Madam, your ex-husband's company is requesting emergency funding." She smiled faintly. Across the city, her ex-husband paced his office, frustration burning in his chest. Clients were pulling out. Bank loans were frozen. His phone wouldn't stop ringing. "This doesn't make sense," he shouted. "We were stable last week." His secretary hesitated. "Sir, our main investor has withdrawn support." "Who?" he demanded. A name appeared on the screen. His knees weakened. Back in the boardroom, she spoke quietly but firmly. "Acquire majority shares. Effective immediately. No hesitation. No debate." "Yes, Madam Chairwoman." By noon, headlines exploded across business news. Unknown heiress returns. Billionaire empire shakes market. Social media buzzed. Analysts speculated. Former colleagues replayed Christmas night videos with new eyes. At his desk, her ex-husband stared at the screen, his face pale. "That's my wife," he whispered. Memories flashed. Her quiet patience, her humble clothes, the way she never defended herself. Realization crushed him. He had humiliated a queen in public. That evening, she stood alone in her office, looking out over the city. She removed a folded copy of the divorce papers from her bag and placed it gently on the table. "You thought you set me free," she said softly. "You did." Cliffhanger ending. A New Year's gala invitation arrives. Hosted by her company. Her ex-husband's name is on the guest list. The New Year's gala glittered like a dream, crystal chandeliers, red carpets, and the city's most powerful names in one room. Cameras flashed as business tycoons and politicians arrived, their smiles polished and practiced. Then the room fell strangely quiet. She entered, elegant, confident, untouchable. Whispers spread like fire. "Shah Ba, Yan, isn't that his ex-wife? My God, she's the chairwoman." Her ex-husband stood near the stage, holding a glass of champagne. The moment he saw her, his hand froze. The glass slipped and shattered on the floor. She walked past him without a glance. The same woman he had humiliated at a Christmas party now owned the company hosting the event. On stage, the host smiled nervously. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the visionary behind tonight's celebration, our chairwoman." Thunderous applause erupted. She stepped forward, calm and radiant. "Thank you for joining us," she said. "Tonight is about new beginnings." Her eyes met his, for just 1 second. No anger, no tears, only truth. A screen lit up behind her. Acquisition complete. Her ex-husband's company logo appeared beneath her corporate seal. Gasps filled the hall. Security quietly approached him. "Sir, we'll need you to leave." He opened his mouth to speak. Nothing came out. She turned back to the audience. "Sometimes," she said softly, "the greatest strength is walking away, and coming back stronger." Applause turned into a standing ovation. As he was escorted out through the same doors she once exited in shame, snow began to fall outside, just like that Christmas night. She didn't look back. Cliffhanger ending. A final envelope awaits her. Not from him, but from her past. Morning light filled the chapel overlooking the sea. Church bells rang softly as people gathered for a private Thanksgiving Mass. She sat in the last pew, head bowed, hands clasped, not as a billionaire, but as a woman finally at peace. In her hands was the final envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter from her late father. "Anik, power is not proven by what you take, but by what you endure without losing your heart." Tears fell, not of pain, but release. Later that day, the world watched as she stood on a global stage. Leaders, investors, and innovators applauded as she was introduced, not as someone's wife, not as someone's ex, but as one of the most powerful women in Asia. She spoke simply. "I once believed love meant making myself smaller," she said. "I was wrong. Love should never erase who you are." Across the city, her ex-husband watched the broadcast alone. The celebration, the success, the respect, everything he thought he owned had never been his. Back at the Christmas hall where it all began, she returned quietly that evening. The decorations were gone. Only memories remained. She placed the old wedding ring on a small table and walked away without regret. Outside, children laughed. Families gathered. The air smelled of Noche Buena and hope. She smiled. She didn't lose a marriage that Christmas. She reclaimed her destiny. Final line, viral ending. Sometimes, God removes someone from your life. Not to punish you, but to return your crown.